Testing. Hi, can everyone hear me clearly? Seeing who's here to join me nice and early. Hey, David. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I celebrated my my kid's a 1-year-old first year birthday party today. No, it was on Saturday. Yeah, we celebrated his birthday party on Saturday. It was his 1-year-old birthday. All right, so yeah, it's a pretty fun weekend. I would say quite tiring because of the celebrations, but very fun nonetheless. Right. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, fun time. A fun time running around. I think it was if anything, it was more of the birthday party was more like a celebration for the parents, right? For surviving 1 year, more than anything else, I think. Right. Yamilu, nice to see you. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to anyone who is here. If you're here, please drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're tuning in from. And if any of you guys have, I think most of you guys are celebrating a, what's the word for it? Let me just check it out. The Labor Day, right? I think it could be celebrating Labor Day on Monday, right? Let me just check. Most of you guys should be celebrating Labor Day on Monday. Is anyone not celebrating? I think Australia might not be. Yeah, Australia might not be. Canada, maybe not. US, probably not, yeah. Let me know, right? Let me know. Hey, Chaos, nice to see you. Oh, it's not in the US, right? Ernst, nice to see you too. You're tuning in from the Netherlands. Nice. Nick, you're finally here on time. Yeah, I wonder. Imagine if we swap the timing to 1 hour later, right? And then you you miss today's session again. Advocate. Oh, nice to see you from South Africa. All right. Finger licking, right? Kenya. I'm guessing is finger licking good, right? There's some KFC that you're reminding me of, right? Hungry. Right, okay, nice to see you guys tune in. Okay. So we don't have Labor Day celebrations all around the world. It seems like some countries have it, some countries don't. I expect there to be slightly the Monday to be slightly slower, right? Slightly slower, but this week will be a fun week, right? Particularly because of the we all know what's coming this week, right? The non-farm payrolls, right? So a lot of CPI news announcements, right? A couple of FOMC news announcements to watch out. But yeah, I will just power through them on a few of the key news announcements to kind of watch out for, right? And then we look at some of the key technical setups. So the way we usually work over here is that whatever technical setups you want me to take a look at, send it in, right, nice and early so that I can take a look at them, right? I will try to work my way down across the majority of the majors if there are updates, right? Otherwise, after that, I will look at the request based on who sent it first, okay? And that has been one of the feedbacks that I receive, right, is that we try to attend to requests in a chronological order. That means, yeah, if you send it in first, we will try to take a look at it, okay? I see. A bank holiday Monday here tomorrow. Okay, yeah, it's a couple of countries, even Singapore, yeah, it's we have a holiday tomorrow, right? It's Labor Day, so yeah, so expect things to be quite slow. Imat, nice to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. Right, we got Gurakak. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Republic of Kosovo. Nice to see you here. Right, let's begin today's session. All right, so this is our weekly pre-market analysis by IC markets. Right, some weeks, most of the weeks is gonna be me. Some of the weeks where if I'm traveling, I believe towards the at the end of May, you might not see me for 1 or 2 weeks, right? But anyway, for the next few weeks. Yeah, for next 2 weeks, it'll be me, right? So we prepare you for what's going to happen in the week ahead, all right? So we're going to take a quick look at the fundamentals. We're going to take a longer look at the technicals, All right, so if you've been following our series, we've been our hit rate's pretty good. We seem to get most of the calls right. Sometimes some are wrong, some are right. Yeah, it's a pretty good hit rate. So join us every week, right, where we look at the markets. Just prepare for the markets as it opens. All right. David already has a request for Aussie dollar. Chaos got a request for CAD yen. All right, got it. Okay, guys, and of course remember, disclaimer. Everything in this webinar is educational in nature, so nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay. Now, of course, let's begin. Let's begin our agenda. Just give me a quick second. Yeah, let's begin our agenda for today. Right. We'll be looking at some key news events. Right. After the key news events, especially the key news events based on the economic calendar, right? We will then jump into the analysis on the majors, right? Some of the major news events to take a look out for, right? Analysis on majors more of like the major FX, major. I'll look at gold. I'll look at oil. I'll look at Ethereum, Bitcoin. I'll look at some of the major indices, right? The S&P 500, Dow Jones. Right. Yeah. So I'll look at some of the majors in that sense. So it's not only major FX, but one of the more popular ones across the indices and the crypto. Okay. Then after that, we will have our custom requests. Right. So custom request is like I'll attend to what you're sending in through now. I can see Rick is asking. Good morning, Rick. NASDAQ, WTI, and we got pound dollar already. I'll be covering pound dollar in a second. Okay. Right, and of course, for those of you guys who are here for the first time, right, if you are here for the first time, let me know. Thanks for joining, of course, right, always nice to have you here, right. Introducing your host for today, my name is Desmond Leong, right, so I'm external analyst over here at IC Markets. So we run the award-winning research firm, Everest Fortune Group, also the Forex Army, finalists of 2019, 2020, and 2021 for best FX and equity research. Work with many of the major banks and financial institutions on helping them forecast where the markets are heading. And we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we're bringing you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take a trading to the next level, right? I'll be pointing you in the correct direction of a couple of webinars that, list of webinars that you should be taking a look at, all right? Now, without further ado, let's go on. Okay, before this, right, let's actually just go on to IC Markets YouTube, a channel over here. I want to point you in the correct direction of, it is IC Markets webinars here. I'll copy this link first. All right, I'll point you in the direction of here, right? If you haven't, right, please check it out. All right, so we these are a lot of the every Tuesday we have a live what's the word for it? Every Tuesday we have lessons teach you, help you forecast where the markets are heading. This is our pre-market series, right? So this is a pre-market analysis series. So check it out. It's every week, right? And you can, of course, what I encourage you guys to review the week before, you know, some of the setups they've been looking at. So if you want to, I'll be referring to the 23rd of April, which is last week, right? For most of the setups, you will notice that on the 23rd of April, right? If you go into the video, what I like to do, you come down here, right? You'll be able to see the different timestamps on the key moments, right? So you can easily jump around and see what the key levels that we highlighted. Okay, but yeah, so let's before we begin, let's go into some of the key news events to watch out, right? So not many of the news events we will what's the word for it? You have a view on it, right? Some of it, like for example, the biggest news event to watch out for today is for the affecting the USD. This is the ISM manufacturing PMI. People are expecting the data to, you know, to be a slight improvement from the previous release. Forecast value of 46.8, right? 46.8 compared to 46.3, right? You do need to take note that the PMI data is it is still a lagging indicator. Okay, so no matter what, you still need to remember that it's a lagging indicator. All right. So ISM manufacturing PMI, definitely one of the things that you want to look out for. Right. Tuesday, the cash rate, the AUD cash rate, keep a lookout for it. We are not expecting any changes. You notice 3.6%, so no change, right? But you should take note, right? Take note of the RBA rate statement, right? Because this is the important one that actually gives you some insight into the potential future changes in the monetary policy, right? So definitely kind of take a look out for this one, right? And right, this one down here, right? The job opening, right? So the forecasted job opening at 9.74 million, you know, it's compared to a previous reading, you know, so there's a potential for a decrease in job openings, you know, and this is negative, right? So it's forecasted 9.74 versus 9.93. It's forecasted to be lower. That means imagine you have less job openings in the country. When there's less job openings in the country, traders deem that the country is not doing that well, because there's it's a early forecast into maybe like how the not too correlated, but like the non-farm payrolls are going to be, right? So it sets the tone, right? If it's really lower, right, that you can forecast that the USD is going to weaken. All right, so definitely one of the things that you want to look out for. Very straightforward. If the value is lower, it's weaker. The value is higher, it's stronger, the USD. All right. Wednesday, Kiwi employment change. Definitely want to look out for unemployment rate and employment change. Keep a lookout for that. USD ADP non-farm employment change. Right. So this is more of it's the studies the employment situation in the US private sector, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's the private sector, right? So if what you want to look out for is that if the value is more than 148K, right, it's going to be better for the USD. Keep a lookout for that. All right, ISM manufacturing PMI, keep a lookout for it also. All right, this will be one of the key news events to watch out for Wednesday. Thursday, no, as in towards Thursday, right? FOMC statement, federal fund rates, right, and the FOMC press conference. I would say Wednesday night to Thursday, right, there's definitely going to be a lot of things moving around in the USD, right? So keep a lookout for this. Otherwise, the rest of the week for on Thursday, relatively quiet until it reached the euro, right? I wouldn't say there's much things to look out for on the USD front, but definitely the main refinancing rate is, and the employment claims will be the main refinancing rate will be one of the key things to look out for on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, the news is coming in thick and fast, right? And of course, you want to look out for the unemployment change non-farm payroll on Friday, okay? We know these are news events that are coming, right? We know it's going to come, right? We do not know the results. This is what I call known unknowns. You know it's coming, you might not know of the results, all right? We have a question from Asif saying, how has pound dollar performed in the first week of May? I'm assuming you're looking at seasonality kind of analysis, right? I will show, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with seasonality analysis, right, I will show you guys what I mean in a bit, right? But wait, let me see from Nick, how many hours before big news events should you be out of the market? Some people are doing prop firm trading, there might be some rules to avoid. How should you trade? So usually I'm out 15 minutes before the news events, 15 minutes, right? Because I start to notice the markets start having heavy fluctuations, 15 to 30 minutes, right? Sometimes you notice like the news announcements come about like 1:45, 2 p.m. So I always notice it comes in like little 15 minutes blocks, 8:15, right? 8:30, 8:45, right? You see there's 3:45, then you got 3:15, 3, you know, so it kind of comes in like little bits of 10 to 15 minutes news blocks, right? So usually how I notice traders look at it is that they go from one news event to the next news event. You can't react to the non-farm payroll news event if you haven't reacted to the previous news event, right? So I noticed that usually in blocks of 15 minutes, that's where the volatility and the speculation starts kicking in. All right. So personally, I will kind of watch out to get out of the news events. If you do not want the news events, if you're not trading the news events, right, and you're afraid of the volatility, right, try to get out 15 minutes before it is fine. but also regarding next question, right? It depends on your time frame that you're trading. So let me come down here. Yeah, depends on the time frame that you're trading. You know, are you trading the 1 day time frame, 4 hour time frame, 1 hour time frame? All right. So, does anyone want to make a guess? If what time frame? What is the minimum time frame you should be trading for the news events to not affect you that much? Is it the 1 hour? You know, is it the 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month? Right? What is the smallest time frame you can go to, right, where the news events won't affect you that much? Okay, this while you guys are answering that, seasonality analysis, right, for Asif, right, you notice that the first week of May back in 2022 would be here, 2nd to 9, right? So it was dropping. 2nd to 9 May was dropping. For 2021, it was strengthening. Right, 3rd of May to 10th of May, right? You notice that the price was strengthening up. Right, for 2020, right, you can say that first week of May was weakening. So you got weakened, you got strengthened, you got weakened, right? For most, if you're doing seasonality analysis, you need to stretch it back years. But personally, for me, I don't think there's a reason why you need to do seasonality analysis. I will highlight to you some of the key news events, the key setups to watch out for. Okay, like for pound dollar, for instance. Right. Okay, I see some answers come through. 4 hour, 1 day, 1 hour. All right. So if you don't want the news announcements to affect you that much, usually looking at it from the 4 hour chart, right, is better. All right. So if you look at the 4 hour chart and we go back to April, right? So April, the non-farm payroll was on the 7th of April. Okay. I'm going to bar replay and go on to the first Friday of the week, right? 7th of April over here. I think I need to fast forward it 1 day. Okay, so if you're on like the 30, where's the non-farm payroll? I think this was the non-farm payroll news announcement, right? So this is a non-farm payroll news announcement, as you can see over here. This one, as you can see, it is right about here where the big drop happened. If you're on the 5-minute chart, yes, you would have experienced quite a bit of volatility. Let me just draw a vertical line over here. Yep, over here. I'm going to just dotted line. Right, this is the big news announcement over here. You go on the 15-minute chart, right? Notice it's still a very big movement, right? Go into the 30-minute chart. You just move it, nudge it a bit. You can see it's a pretty big movement that you can see over here, right? You go into the 1 hour chart, fairly big candle, right? But on the 4 hour chart, this candle starts to be a really tiny candle. If you look at this candle, would you have noticed that this is like a significantly different candle from every candle? No, right? This news announcement over here, right, on the 4 hour chart, you know, it just looks like any other normal candle, right? On the 1 hour, on the 30 minutes, that's where you start to notice that this news announcement is actually pretty big, right? This candle is bigger than the other candles, right? So if you're talking about like the time frame, right, time frame where the news announcements start to affect you less, right? If you're trading the 4 hour charts, you're trading the 1 day time frames, right? Usually you are safe. You are relatively safer from the news announcements, right? A news announcement in a day, even the non-farm payroll, like the biggest news event in the month, will not, the volatility will not wake you out or something. Yes, Stephen, right? I can see Stephen having a comment that, yeah, last week, did we really miss 80%? I'll go through some of it, right? Pre-market analysis. But Stephen, for those, that means you need to go into our previous week's analysis too, right? So if you want to be completely unbiased, all right? So some weeks we get most of it right. Some weeks we get, in weeks that we don't do that well, right? We don't get as many correct, right? So don't expect, I guess, right, us getting 80% every single week. It's usually a lot of it is depends on the main direction of DXY, whether we get that movement correct. Okay. Good stuff, man, Steven. Right. I always appreciate it. Right. I always appreciate it when people watch closely. Right. Thanks, Nick. Right. So yeah, some weeks we get more of it correct. Some weeks, if it's not that well, then yeah, we don't get as many correct. Okay, that's just the nature of things, right? But most importantly, right, all of this is recorded for you guys, so I can't run away, right? As Steven has posted over here, I can't run away. If I get more of it correct, you see it. If I get more of it wrong, you also see it. What's important is that we are accountable for it, right? I will timestamp it regardless whether I get it right, I'll get it wrong. I'll timestamp it for you guys to go through. Right, and yeah, hopefully get more of it right than wrong, because that has been how we've been performing over the years, right? So let me see, how do I remove a bar replay? Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's go into the analysis, right? So the first one that we want to take a look out for is DXY. Okay, let me remove the news announcements on the charts, economic news events. So I guess the thing that we probably want to look out for DXY, right, is that on the 4-hour time frame, I want to highlight to you guys, right, on the 4-hour time frame, right, we are starting to notice a little bit, right, on the 4-hour time frame, there has been this little descending resistance line, okay, but if you are able to tweak it a bit, if you are able to tweak it a bit, right, you would notice that it could be, it could be seeing a little bit of a turnaround. All right, let's go onto the 1-day time frame to see what's going to happen. Right, on the 1-day time frame, same thing as usual. Right, I think last week on the DXY, on DXY we highlighted the main support area as the 100.84 to 101.30. Right, so we can see that it has held it has held nicely above the 100.84, this level, right? This support level over here. Okay, this is the first support. It has held nicely over that level. We highlighted as a support. It held nicely. We highlighted that the resistance would be 102.65, right, and continued to remain below the 102.65 level. So I would say, yeah, we were neutral on DXY last week, because remember, not every single week you're able to forecast a clear movement, right? Not every single week you'll be able to forecast that DXY is going up or going down, right? Some weeks is neutral because the levels are not as clear, right? This week for DXY, we still see, right? We still notice that the 100.90, 102.61 key levels over here. Price will continue to fluctuate between this level. Okay, I will take a look at euro dollar to see if there's any early indication on what we might expect, right? Based on the correlated kind of analysis, right? So neutral on euro dollar, neutral on DXY last week, highlighting these few levels, right? If it breaks the 100.84 level, 99.31 still remains the key support level. As you can see down here, 99.31, I think it's about here. This still remains our key level if price breaks. Okay. Personally, I would look out for this like reverse Nike tick. 127. So one of the reasons why I like this 99.35, actually it's more of the 52 to 99.73 level, is because of this Fibonacci extension, right? Very nice one that comes all the way down to the 127% over here. Okay, so keep a lookout for that. Okay, keep a lookout for that. If price breaks the 100.90, you know, it should come down to this level. In terms of resistance for here, it remains more or less the same, right? This remains the key overlap resistance for us to watch out for on euro dollar. Okay, why I call it overlap, you know, you can see a reaction from here, another reaction from here, a bounce from here, bounce from here, reaction from here, a reaction from here. So this is what I call overlap resistance. You know, price has responded to it very nicely, right? Historically. So just keep a lookout for here, right? Price continues to fluctuate between these two levels. A lot of indecision this week, I believe, towards non-farm payroll, right? We should be able to see price make a decisive move, right? Or it might take the non-farm payroll. It might require the non-farm payroll for price to give us an indication where it's heading, all right? Euro dollar, right? Euro dollar, what I like about euro dollar, right? I think last week, let's see what we called on euro dollar. This is the 4-hour time frame, I think. Oops. Did I have it on the forward chart? Yeah. So on the 4-hour chart, the euro dollar, right? Our forecast last week was for price to break the 100.97 level, right? For it to shoot up towards the 1.1073, as you can see over here, right? I'm not lying, right? This was the forecast last week, right? Since then, price did shoot up and hit our target, okay? So Stephen, I guess this would be one of the setups that kind of worked quite nicely. We are waiting for price to actually break this level to go up. It went up, test it, come down again, test the channel, went up again, test it, come down again. So we highlight the first resistance, we highlighted, worked out very nicely. The Ichimoku cloud, the ascending support, right, the channel, all of it worked out very nicely in forecasting the move up here for price to reach our target. So euro dollar worked out very nicely. There is, for euro dollar, right, let me just see. I mean, it still remains in a channel, but one thing I'll be watching out for euro dollar is that price will be fluctuating between these levels a bit. It's gonna be squeezed, right? It's gonna be squeezed between this first resistance where we're already seeing, you know, one reaction, two reaction, three reactions, right? It's gonna be squeezed there, and we need to see whether price is gonna break that level, okay? But at least on the 1-day time frame, right? On the 1-day time frame, I do need to highlight to you guys this very, very important thing which I'm seeing, right? If you look a little bit closely, there is a nice bit of bearish divergence over here, right? There's a nice bit of bearish divergence over here, right? We can see, sorry, this will be the second resistance. We can see that there's price is making a higher high, right? RSI is making a lower high, right? Kelvin, nice to see you, right? Kelvin, nice to see you, right? So yeah, you can see price is making a higher high, right? RSI is making a lower high, right? So this is where there's a little bit of bearish divergence that we're seeing, right? Bearish divergence at a major resistance level, right? So I have a slight bias that we might be seeing price drop down to this level, okay? We might be seeing price drop down and retest this overlap level, okay, at 1.0789, right? Slight bias on here on the higher time frame that we could see a reversal from here, okay? Yeah, this would be my bias. In terms of the pound dollar, right? I think pound dollar, in chronological order, we looked at WTI next. All right, I think we look at, okay, before I jump to WTI, right, let me look at pound dollar, okay? Let's see. Pound dollar, major resistance over here, okay? We got a bit of resistance here, but what I like to highlight about what I noticed on euro dollar and pound dollar is making higher highs for sure, right? There's a higher high, there's a higher high, there's a higher high. Right, there's a lower high, and it looks like price, if it reverses from here, you know, there might be a little bit of lower high. So it's like a prolonged kind of divergence. a little bit of bearish divergence that we're seeing over here, right? A little bit of bearish divergence on pound dollar, and I like that we can see the same little bit of bearish divergence on euro dollar. Okay, so you can see, let's see, let me just zoom out a bit and see if I'm missing anything. Okay, always like to draw Fibonacci retracement from the top all the way to the bottom. Price is breaking, broke to 50%. Just let me analyze this, all right? Still going a little bit higher. It could inch up a little bit more. So what I'm worried about is price seems to be breaking this little bit of a resistance, right? Price seems to be breaking that little bit of a resistance over here. Okay, right? Whether it's able to break it and rise up towards the 1.2766 level remains to be seen, right? But just looking at this, there might be, let me just see, a little bit tricky. I know that the same people will be coming back to look at this analysis next week, so we need to make sure you do it well. Right? I mean, it's fun, right? I think what's the point of doing analysis if if you don't review it every single week, right? Yeah. I hope that that's right, right? I hope that's right. This bearish divergence. Okay, I will come back to pound dollar. Right, I'll come back to pound dollar. Right, I'm not getting that many clear. It's not as clear. Pound dollar is not as clear compared to euro dollar. Right, euro dollar off a major resistance this level looks like it's going to reverse quite nicely. Pound dollar a little bit less. Right, you could argue that we are seeing a little bit of a resistance area over here. Right, we could be seeing a little bit of a resistance area over here. All right, where it might start to reverse from. Okay. Right, but just let me keep an eye on the pound dollar. Right, we need to look at euro dollar in this dollar franc in this case. Okay, dollar franc, the same key support level that we want to look at. Right, so I think we didn't look at dollar franc last week. Yeah, we didn't look at dollar franc last week. So dollar franc, same thing that we're looking at. What I like, lower, there's a lower low over here. And there's a higher low that we're seeing on dollar franc. Okay, nice bit of bullish divergence off a major support level. This support level stretches all the way back to here. So nice little bit of support level over here. If it bounces from here, right? If it bounces from here, we should this week pretty confident we might see a rise up to this at least a 0.9059 level. Okay, which is a major pullback area, right? That we should be seeing price go to. This will be in line with euro dollar, right? If we're expecting a drop on euro dollar, means we're expecting a rise on dollar franc because of the correlation. If you ever want to check out the correlation, you can look this thing called correlation coefficient, right? So dollar franc, I'm going to compare it with euro dollar, right? And we see that the correlation, the majority of the time, the correlation, happens to be in the negative region, close to negative 1, right? So there's a negative correlation between euro dollar and dollar franc. So if you're expecting dollar franc to rise, euro dollar should be dropping, right? Dollar franc, DXY should be bouncing from this main support level, right? DXY should be bouncing from this main support level towards this level, okay? That means euro dollar dropping, dollar franc dropping, dollar franc rising, and pound dollar, right, with that little bit of DXY strength, might be able to see that it reverses from here down to our first support, okay, based on the DXY strength that we'll be looking at. Okay, now the key magnetic level for pound dollar definitely is the 1.27669 level over here, right? Very nice overlap, very nice 61.8 retracement. Okay, this whole area over here remains the key overlap to take a look out for. Okay, at least on the higher time frame, the 1 week time frame. Okay, now for WTI, let's jump to WTI. So we are forecasting WTI to kind of drop towards the 72.21 level, as you can see, right, before bouncing up. Let's see how it kind of worked out. I mean, yeah, it did drop towards 72.21, right? So I think our support level was, yeah, 72.21 here. So price did drop, right? Price did drop down. It hasn't reached our main 72.21 level yet, but it did drop since last week. As you can see, you know, it has continued. We forecast a drop. It has dropped a little bit more, right? Not all the way down to the first support, right? But this remains a key support level for us to look at. Okay, I don't think there's any change that we're looking at for oil, right? This remains a key support. This remains a key resistance. Okay, if it breaks the 72.21, key level look out for is down, is all the way down at the 64.55 level. Just zoom out. 64.55. Why is that level, right? As you can see, right, why a higher time frame analysis is important, right? Why a higher time frame analysis is important is because it's when you go into the weekly chart, then you can zoom back all the way and notice that this level over here, right, is a important level that price has, you know, bounce off, you know, reacted off, bounce off in the past, bounce off, right? So you can see this level over here clearly is not just any small level, right? This level is a big support level for it to look out for, right? So if price does break this level, you know, we can see the drop, but otherwise, you know, this remains a key support, this remains a key resistance. We need either one to be broken to trigger a move, right? The overlap resistance, the next big one will be over here. So if it breaks the first resistance, you can come up to here, but is that going to happen this week? Unlikely that it's going to price is going to break the first resistance. What's more likely is that price might continue to inch down, right, towards this level, right, inch down towards the first support, but it needs to break this level, right, to trigger the move down it needs to break probably the area over here to trigger the move down to 64.61, 62.25 level. Okay, I think next analysis we did on gold. All right, so gold, we were hoping, right, we are saying that if price will break the 23%, it will drop to 1953. I think this one didn't work out that nicely, right? It has not continued to drop down, but it has held very nicely at our 23% retracement. It has not continued lower. It has not continued lower towards the second support. But what I want to highlight is that, okay, well, it did not it's not as if it went up to our first resistance or something, right? We did highlight that if it remains below the 23.3%, it can drop to 1953. 1953 still remains over here as a key support level, right? Overlap resistance. Let me think what we can expect for the week over here. Man, I mean, there's quite a bit of indecision over here. Quite a little bit of indecision, right? Why do I highlight that there's a little bit more indecision? Is because if you look closely, right? If you look closely at this, you know, there's a lot of wicks happening, right? There's a lot of wicks happening over here. There's very, very small candles which are happening over here. So clearly, right, what I forecast is going to happen for the week, right, we're probably going to go sideways a little bit more, right, because we're waiting for non-farm payroll, we're waiting for a couple of big news announcements, right, to give us a little bit more direction DXY. So everyone's kind of still sitting on the fence a bit, right, so we just watch out for the key support and watch out for the key resistance over here. Okay, The 23%, I wouldn't say is holding that well, right? I mean, the 23% Fibonacci retracement traditionally, you know, it is a level that needs to be broken to trigger the move down, right? The very fact that price continues to hover around the 23%, it means that there's a little bit of indecision, right? The market can't decide whether this level, this overlap level over here, is to be broken. Because if it does, right, we should see a nice drop towards towards the first support. Okay, now what's the next thing we looked at? Dow Jones DJ30, right? So for DJ30, you come down to here. We forecasted, yeah, I think there was a little bit of a bounce. Was it on the 4-hour chart? Yeah, I think it was here. Sometimes I should see if it's the one. Yeah, I think this is the 1-day time frame. So DJ30, we forecasted a bounce over 33617 towards 34326, right? It has, right? It kind of spiked down to go up. I mean, it didn't spike all the way down to our second support, so it's on its way up towards the first resistance, working out quite nicely. So I wouldn't say this, you know, this is still a pretty good setup, right? It did bounce off our support level towards the first resistance, right? As you can see over here. Okay, so we've worked our way halfway through the analysis so far. I wouldn't say that we have a 80% loss rate according to Stephen, right? Because you need to take note that the neutral cases that we highlight, you know, if they not every case is an outright bullish or bearish kind of a potential setup, right? So, some of it can be some of it are neutral cases and levels to watch. Okay, for the Dow Jones 30, if price, right, if price comes up, what would I expect on Dow Jones 30, DJ30 now? I mean, it is still a big resistance level to look out for. A little bit tricky. I mean, I like this level. I like this level in particular because there's a lot of reactions off here, right? It's a lot of reactions. So I suspect if price comes up to here, you might see a little bit of a reaction for price to go down. Okay, right? Every time price touches this level, it seems to have a nice little reaction. You drag it further back, right? You can see it actually leads to a nice little overlap. It leads to a nice little overlap, right? Price respects this level a lot. Okay, price respects this level a lot. So I think, yeah, if price comes up to here, we could see a little bit of a reversal, right? Maybe off this level and it drops back down to the first support level. Okay, it breaks this, it can come up to here, but yeah, we could see a little bit of a reversal, right? Right, Joey, no worries, right? Enjoy your work, right? I guess, yes, work begins for, I think if you're in, I think Sydney, right? Yeah, it could be the start of the day, depending on where you are. Okay, which part of the world you're in. If you're in Singapore, it's 4:45 a.m. So work hasn't started for us yet. Okay, yeah, Dow Jones 30 looks like there's a nice little bit of a reversal. For I think Ethereum didn't really work out the way I hoped. Right, we were hoping that if it breaks the 1846, it go down to 1686. I think Ethereum didn't work out that nicely. Right, as you can see, I was hoping for this 23.6% retracement to be broken, but remember, for this setup, right, you notice that the arrow that we're drawing is that, you know, it requires the 1846 level to be broken to trigger the move down, right? It did not break the 1846 level, so technically this setup would not be that valid, right? You're still waiting for this level to be broken to trigger the move down, because we did highlight that this was a nice support level. It's a 38% retracement. It's a intermediate support level. Price bounced from it. So in that sense, you know, we were correct in highlighting that this overlap level was the support level to look at, and only if this level was broken would it trigger the move down. So remember, guys, in the forecast when we're explaining, right, these are what we call downside confirmations and upside confirmations, right? Meaning that a downside can only be confirmed, right, once this level is broken. Right. Yeah, once this level is broken. So once it's broken, then you notice there's the move, and then we can trigger the move down. Okay, so it's always important to take note of downside confirmations, right? Now that price is bouncing from here, right, there's a decent chance, right? There's a decent chance that we might see price kind of inch up towards the recent highs over here, but that requires us to take a look at Bitcoin, right? What could happen to Bitcoin? A little bit tricky. What could happen to Bitcoin? Bitcoin isn't that clear though. I mean, technically it's on the intermediate, little bit of an intermediate level here, but Bitcoin's view is not as clear, right? I think Ethereum is clearer. Nice little bit of 38% retracement, right? You got nice little bit of Ichimoku momentum. We could see it continue to work its way up towards 2158. So the Bitcoin, right? I don't have a view on Bitcoin, right? I have a clearer view on Ethereum, okay? Oh, South Africa, right? Okay. From Queens. Okay, good stuff, right? Thanks for letting me know where you guys are tuning in from, right? Ethereum, less of a sell there. Pound yen. I think pound yen, we forecasted that it bounce over the 165.73 level, right? So if you go to pound yen, hey, Yamil, nice to see you. Tune in, right? So for pound yen, we did forecast, right? As you can see over here, our forecast last week above 165.73 to bounce up towards the 167.89, right? 165.73 bounce up to this level, right? So we managed to forecast the bounce perfectly over here, and price bounce up one more time from here again. Okay, so we were correct in highlighting this support level over here, right? 165.73. Once you are able to highlight the overlap, once you're able to see the Ichimoku cloud momentum, right? You highlight the correct resistance level, you would be able to not only call the bounce from here to here, but you call the reversal down and another bounce up. So that is what happens when you call the correct kind of support and resistance levels, right? So in this case, we are very correct in calling the move up here, right? The move down, this support level, right? And of course, a further move up again, right? So I wouldn't exactly say 80% wrong, right? We're getting most of the calls right, guys. Okay, so please, like I said, it's all the proof is in the pudding. Go review the last week's analysis, right? Not everyone's going to be correct. Some of it is going to be wrong. Some of it, remember, upside downside confirmations, right? So if the level is not broken, it doesn't trigger a move yet. Okay, all right. Pretty nice pound yen kind of setup over there. I do want to kind of, what is it, Euro yen? Euro yen didn't work out that nicely. We were hoping for Euro yen to drop below the 147 to 145. I don't think it worked out very nicely. For Euro yen, we were hoping for this drop. It did not drop. Okay. Yeah, it did not drop. In fact, right, it broke up. Right. So we are highlighting that yes, it did bounce off our intermediate support over here. So if you're a little bit more conservative, you played it down to here, it'll be okay. But we are hoping for price to kind of drop the first support, right? So it didn't work out very nicely. But what is nice is that Euro Yen looks like it has broken, right? It has broken this level over here, right? So as you can see, right, not every single forecast would work out nicely. Some does work out nice, some doesn't work out nice. But yeah, if it doesn't work out nice, at least I'll be here to let you know, right? That it doesn't work out nice. Okay. It's starting to hide over here, all right? Zoom. Major level over here. I wonder where its price is. Okay, why I'm highlighting this level? Why I'm highlighting this level is because it's a major overlap, okay? You can see major reversal from here, major reversal from here. All right, Marondera, nice to see you tune in. Slightly late today, right? We'll finishing the session soon. This major overlap, price is testing this level, okay? What I forecast is likely to happen. What I forecast is likely to happen is that we could see, where do the previous reversals occur, right? We got one reversal here. So what I try to look out for is that if previously I had a reversal around this area, a reversal here, close reversal here, I got reversal here, close reversal here, right? It looks like, you know, RSI is close to reaching the level where another reversal might happen. So we could see, right, we just could see a small little reversal. Oops. We could see a reversal from here, you know, for price to reverse down to the first support, right? It is, after all, testing a major level. Okay, David, I'll take a look at Aussie dollar in a bit. All right. So yeah, Euro yen, it looks like I would say, yeah, probably a little bit of a reversal down to 184.42 level. Okay. Now, okay, let me just take a look at Aussie dollar. I think Aussie dollar, okay, look at dollar CAD, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is not as clear. Oh, yeah. Honestly, the levels are terrible. Still experiencing a little bit of bearish momentum. So on the higher time frame, right? On the higher time frame, this first support definitely remains level to be broken. Let me just see. It happens to line up with a 61.8 retracement too. So I kind of watch out for this level, right? If it breaks, it can drop all the way to second support. It's a little bit far, but I'll probably play it down to this. I'll probably play it down to this 78.6% retracement first, right? So keep a lookout for it, right? It requires this level to be broken, right? So I'm gonna circle this over here so anyone who watches it doesn't just jump to conclusions, right? That this level needs to be broken for the move to be triggered, right, down to the second support. Okay, so yeah, I'll be kind of watching out for this. I know that there's a big I wouldn't say undercurrent, right, but bearishness on the higher time frame, kind of pushing it lower, right? And this level, this first support remains the key level to be broken, yeah, for price to drop to second support, right? No worries, David, right? I think, yeah, there was a few free requests earlier. I mean, there was Aussie dollar was one of it. NASDAQ, we highlighted last week that this is a first support level that needs to be okay. I'm not going to jump to I don't know which part of NASDAQ is, but given that we according to a chart, right, we highlighted this as a key support level and this as the intermediate resistance level. Very nice. Price bounce off the key support, is now at our intermediate resistance. This intermediate resistance needs to be broken, right? It needs to be broken to trigger a bigger move up to here, right? So watch for the clean break of this to trigger the move up, right? So price is, the forecast is working out quite nicely in our favor, right? Nice little bit of support line that we're seeing over here too. Nice little bit of ascending support, nice overlap support that we found, bouncing quite nicely, nice bit of Ichimoku momentum, right? So we should be able to see if price breaks this intermediate resistance, right? We should be able to see it rise all the way to 13667, all right? US 500, this level remains a key level. I think we highlighted last week. Last week we highlighted for I think was it 1445. I can't really remember. Shucks, I didn't highlight the level. I think this was a bounce that one of the bounces that we're looking at, right? I would kind of be looking out for this right. This level, this first resistance needs to be broken to trigger the move up to second resistance. Okay, take note. Okay, it's many levels being, we're seeing a lot of reversals around here, right? So this level needs to be broken to trigger the move up. Remember, upside confirmation. Maybe I should have this thing called upside confirmation. Do I have it somewhere here? Right, no, this is called upside confirmation. All right, so that we know, right? We know that this level needs to be broken to trigger the move up to here. Okay. Just to take note of that. Okay, I see that there were requests for oil. Oil, we done it. NASDAQ, we done it. Pound dollar, we've done it. CAD yen, there was a request for CAD yen, is it? CAD yen, I guess, if you're looking at the charts. Key overlap, definitely to watch out over here, right? Very, very nice. Price has respected this many times in the past, very nice levels that has we've seen it respect in the past, right? So it could be, we could see price kind of inching up towards this level, right? I'll look for definitely look for resistance, right? So if there's resistance, we should be looking for a reversal of this level over here, right? Hopefully to play the move down. All right, play the move down, bearish reversal from here. Play the move down, but the move down, I would probably look just to here, right? So look very closely. This is a very nice overlap level that I'm seeing, right? Price has been respecting this level very nicely, right? Little reactions, little bounce, reactions, right? Very nice levels over here. So if price were to reverse, right, I could see it come all the way down to the 99.21 level, right? Definitely one of the key levels to look at. Okay, this will be my first resistance. Oh, forecast for dollar yen. I think dollar yen is a little bit in the middle of nowhere. Right. We didn't look at dollar yen last week, did we? But for dollar yen, it has bounced nicely. It reached the first resistance. Something tells me that we managed to call the bounce on dollar yen last week. Continues to inch up quite nicely. What's likely gonna happen is probably a reversal down to the first support, where we look to play a bounce from. Okay, I forecast this is likely to be the case, right? Looks a little bit overextended, right? You can see that there's a little bit of price action happening here already, coupled with the weakness that we're expecting. If we're expecting strength on DXY, a little bit tricky. We're expecting strength on DXY. We could see a little bit. It probably will work its way up towards the first resistance. The only problem is that there isn't a good level, right, to get in now, right? For it to come its way up to here, right? You need to wait for price. You need to wait for a better level. Hopefully, if price gives you a chance to kind of buy on dips for price to continue up towards the first resistance. Okay, that'll be my view on dollar yen. Okay, pound yen. Pound yen worked out very nicely, right? Hit our target. What might happen? Key resistance at 175. Then I go down to one time frame lower. Well, this will have to be one of the big resistance levels. Very nice support level over here. %23 there, 23%, 23%. Might happen is we might see a reversal from here. I'll be looking to buy on dips too, right? So if you're expecting the same move for dollar yen, pound yen, there's pretty limited upside on pound yen. This is a major resistance level for us to look at. This is a very nice overlap that I'm looking at, okay? So, you know, we could see a reversal from here for price to come down to the first support to play a bounce from there, okay? Right, to play a nice little bounce from there. So this would, yeah, probably look to buy on dips for pound yen, okay? I'm not sure if we managed to look at dollar CAD earlier. Dollar CAD, major overlap over here. First resistance. Second resistance would probably be about here. Really nice levels that we're looking at. A lot of clear market structure, right? A lot of clear market structure for dollar CAD. No clear move for dollar CAD though, right? This will be my downside confirmation. Downside conf. And this will be my upside conf, right? I should use this as templates instead, right? So yeah, it requires this level to be broken to trigger the move down to the first support, right? Trigger this level to be broken to trigger the move up to the first resistance over here. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this will be probably the view for dollar CAD. Not as clear, but upside downside confirmation levels to look out for. Okay. But thank you everyone, right, for staying to us. Can you believe it? 1 hour has passed, right? 1 hour has passed, right? Thanks for tuning in to today's session, right? Really appreciate you guys taking time to tune in, watch today's session, right? What of course I want to highlight to you guys is that yes, you know, we always look at the previous week's analysis, right? Let me just see if I have it over here. Yeah, we always look at the previous week's analysis, right? So there's no running away from it, right? That's what I like about our approach. Let me just minimize it over here. I think it's probably over here that there's a... Yep, if you want, please... I'm going to send you guys a link over here, SurveyMonkey. Is this? No, not this one. Right, yeah, it's this link over here. I'm going to copy the link address. All right, I'm going to paste it over here for you guys. Why can't I copy this link address? Control C. Yep. This is the link if you want to leave feedback. So we always accept welcome the feedback from you guys, right? Please rate it from 1 to 5. Every week, right, we got IC Markets reviewing to see, you know, how you guys find the analysis, right? Let me know, you know, if there are any things that you want me to improve on. This week, you notice that our structure, you know, we try to cover as much of the requests as possible, right? We've been focusing on giving more actionable kind of forecasts, right? So it's, you know, it's not just highlighting levels, right? There's been requests for us to look at more direction, you know, where are the potential moves that can happen, right? So I've been doing that a little bit more too, right? Native Afro, thank you very much. Kelvin, thank you. Andre, thank you. Yamilu, right? Chaos, Aubrey, thank you guys, right, for tuning in for today's session, right? Hope you found today's session useful, right? Well, I think we debunked a little bit of what Stephen mentioned at the start of the webinar. We at least reviewing the forecast last week. I'd say I hit it more towards like 50 or 60% from last week, right? Not the usual 70%, but definitely not 20%. All right. Okay, it was nice having you guys. Right. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Please help me, guys. Help me smash the like button if you can. Right. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. Help us. Help our videos be discovered. Right. Help us rank better on YouTube and have grow our community that we have that joins us every week. Okay. Right. Thank you, Dusil. Right. Good stuff. Right. Thank you, Otaiku. Right. Kanemba. Right. David. All right. Awesome as always. Nice to see you guys around. Thanks, whether it was your holiday or not. Thanks for spending it with me in this pre-market analysis, right? I think Cassandra will be doing her live analysis 1 week, no, about 12 hours from now. Do join her on that one, right? Otherwise, stay safe, trade safe. Peace out, guys. It was nice having you guys. All right, I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Yeah. Thank you, Imat. Thank you, Chaos. Thank you, Marondera. Right. Cheers. Peace out. All right. Adios, guys. Bye bye.